Hi, my name's Dani. I'm 26 years old and I'm from Coinning. So I grew up in a Christian family home. My mum and dad were Christians, my grandparents were Christians, so there wasn't really any question about whether I believed in God or not. I always have and I always did. So when I was growing up, I always had dreams to be a missionary. My dream was always to go around the world and to help other people. So I was coming to youth group, and youth was one of the best things that ever happened. Youth group just became buzzing, everybody was coming, all my friends were coming, and the more I came, the more, as I was getting older, the more kind of distractions were happening. There'd be different guys coming, and before I knew it, I was starting to have boyfriends, starting to have relationships, and I just realised that I was coming to youth now for all the wrong reasons. Eventually I left school when I was 15. I hated school, I didn't want to be there. I went to college to do a photography course, and things just kind of started going really downhill after that. I was one of the youngest in my class, so if they were going to the pub, I was going to the pub, and if they were going out, I was going out, and I just started drinking a lot, dabbling in drugs, and just going completely down the wrong path of life, because at that moment in time I thought I was just living the life and it couldn't get better than this. It was just making me into a horrible person and not the Dani I used to be. But I met this guy and everything felt right. I just completely fell in love, and for the first time in a long, long time, I felt so happy and so content. For the first year, everything was great, but into the second year, things just started going bad. And before I knew it, I had just gotten myself into the darkest place I'd probably ever been in. I'd wake up in the morning and I was trying to get myself to go to college, and I would just start crying. And I'd be like, why am I crying? I don't understand why I'm crying, but it felt so miserable that that's the place I was in. So I dropped out of college, and me and my boyfriend just lived like bums basically. We both became addicted to codeine. Every morning I would wake up and the first thing I thought of was I need to take codeine, and then within the next 2 or 3 hours I'd be taking it again, and this was all we would do all day, was just take codeine. I completely cut all my family out, I cut all my friends out, because although I hated the way my life had became, I didn't want to have to be put in a place where I had to change my life. I was having terrible night terrors where I would just feel like this thing on top of me strangling me at night, and I would have sleep paralysis, and I would be screaming and screaming and nothing was coming out. I was just gone. I just wasn't there anymore.